Good morning, madam.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Good morning. We wait 3 minutes for the others to come in because we are only six. We are only 6 learners, right? So, guys, it's almost 40. So I will start. So, by the way, your exam papers have already been set. At the end of this lecture, I will give you some hint on subject, on topics to be you should concentrate and revise, right? So, have you received your marks for assignment? Have you all received marks for assignment?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you happy?
Yes.
Okay, so I think there was someone who messaged me telling me that the marks, that her mark doesn't appear on the platform, but that's why I asked you if you have received your marks. So it's good. So you have all received your marks, right? So today we are. Can you please send a WhatsApp to all your friends on your group so that they can join? I will start now, and they may join in at any time. Right. So today we are going to do aging and health. Who remembers what we did in the first unit? What we did in the first unit? What was all about in the first unit? Guys, what was all about in the first unit? I'm waiting for you.
Perspective on aging and definition on aging.
Yes. Others? Others answer. What was in the first unit?
Opportunities and challenges.
Yes, very good. So in the first unit, we went all through what is aging. What are the drivers of an aging population? Okay, sorry, I must record. So good morning, everyone, again. We are going to do Unit 4 today. And Unit 4 is all about aging and health. And as I asked you before recording, what was the content of Chapter 1? Chapter 1, Unit 1, was all about you said, I think it was Devina who said, it was all about perspective, defining aging. What is aging? Because if you're doing aging and social work, you have to understand first what is aging, right? And why do we do social work? Why social work is required when there is an aging population? So, as I said, we have the concept, different perspective on aging, right? What are the perspective on aging? What are the main perspective on aging?
Chronological, biological, I think.
Yeah, chronological, biological, and then others?
Social, psychological, and functional.
Very good. Okay, and we have the drivers. Can anyone tell me about the drivers of an aging population? Drivers of an aging population?
Fertility, mortality, migration, and increased longevity.
Yeah, very good. So you have all these drivers, and then we said how it became, how aging became a priority in the agenda following international commitment for the well-being of aging population, right? So definition of aging, perspective on aging, and the drivers of aging, and also how it became like at the top of the agenda of commitment agenda, top priority, right? This was in the first unit, and as someone said, we also knew about the like in the second chapter. Okay, we had someone said about the opportunities and challenges. Okay, contribution of social work in the field of aging, right? The challenges and opportunities, and the different roles played by gerontological and geriatric social workers. So you see, there is a flow in this unit 1 and unit 2. So, for example, like we said that the scope of social work practice in an aged care is all about assessment, counseling, mediation, practical assistant, and when you say there are a number of activities, there are a number of things like what we do, the scope, why we do social work, okay, like advocacy work, we do education and resources, policy and research, right, and contribution in at organization level. And in chapter 3, can someone say what we learn in chapter 3? Chapter 3.
Theories on aging.
Yeah, theories on aging. There are two theories. Okay, we have which theory? We have psychosocial theories, right? And we have biological theories, right? So we concentrated on psychosocial theories, right? Like social theories or role theory, activity theory, continuity theory. These you have to know, guys, about the social theories, right? Social theories is important, right? So we have, when you are asked to answer about what are the social theories, you have to write on role, activity, continuity, disengagement, exchange theory, age stratification, and person in environment, like a person environment fit theories, right? So you have to concentrate on that, and you have to know about the psychosocial theories, right? So today, and then we went also through the changes that happen with aging in older adults, like physical aging, and also we have like sensory and other. So today we are going to do aging and health. Any question on unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3? Any question, guys? Is it clear? Can someone tell me if it's clear, or if you have any question? Because if you don't understand one of the unit, I can go through it again briefly, right? So if you don't have any question, I continue, right? So World Health Organization say that health, this is general, it's not only for the elderly, it's for everyone. Health is a state of complete physical, social, and mental well-being. Physical is your body, social is your environment, and the mental well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. The enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of health is one of the fundamental rights of every human being. So it's a fundamental right. So being without distinction of race, religion, political beliefs, or economic and social condition. Thus, this also applies for the elderly person. So health is a state of complete physical, social, and mental well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Now, so elderly population tend to have a higher prevalence of chronic diseases, physical disabilities, mental illness, and other comorbidities, right? So in unit 3, we went through all the changes that happen, right? That happen in the human body when the human body, like when people grow, like when they become old, right? So can someone tell me one change? Say for physical, one change in human body, physical disability, for example. Allez, vous êtes. Allez, Marie-Lilette.
Graying hair.
Graying hair, physical, yeah. And others? Please interact.
Madam, eyesight.
Eyesight, yes. And chronic diseases, guys. What is chronic disease? We went through all these chronic diseases in Unit 3. And now no one is answering. So tell me, what is in Unit 3?
Diabetes, cardiac, heart diseases,
Yeah, so, and also all the non-communicable diseases, yeah. And mental illness, we went thoroughly on this mental illness. What
dementia,
is, sorry?
dementia,
Dementia, yeah,
Alzheimer.
dementia. Yeah, Alzheimer. Very good. Very good. And then, so elderly population tend to have a higher prevalence of chronic diseases, physical disabilities, mental illness, and other comorbidities. Why? Why they tend to have all this? I'm waiting. Why they tend to have all this?
They
our
are
living lifestyle,
vulnerable.
Devika, please. Devika, go ahead.
They are vulnerable. Their hormonal changes, their antibodies, they don't work well.
Yeah, and the immune system decline over time, right? Because they become old, there are wear and tear. We went through all this, right? I said briefly last time, wear and tear. We have cross-link, things like that, and we have free radicals. When you eat, there are things that changes in our body, right? So that's why people, when they grow, they have higher prevalence of chronic diseases. So the health needs and the health-related problems of elderly people cannot be viewed in isolation. It cannot be viewed in isolation. There's a wide gamut of determinants such as social concern, children moving out of their parents. What happened when children moving out of their parent home in search of occupation? What happened to these people? What happened to these elderly people? Yeah, very good. They are isolated, and then this can lead to, remember in Unit 3, we said this can lead to dementia and other problem, right? So home in search of occupation, leaving them isolated without any physical support in daily activities. So maltreatment towards elderly, poor knowledge and awareness about the risk factors, food and nutritional requirements, psycho-emotional concern like isolation, mental stress, difficulty in keeping themselves occupied, right? Financial constraint, right? Financial constraint, because like it says here, reduction in income upon retirement to the extent that it may interfere with bare needs of life as adequate nutrition, clothing, and shelter, right? Like in Mauritius now, we are very happy. The elderly people are very happy. They will get 20,000 rupees, right? So, but in other countries, because we are not talking only about Mauritius, but also in Mauritius, we have those who are very sick. They need more money. Those who are going to have their treatment at the clinic, or those who need other things like there are many things, but sometimes the pension that you receive is not sufficient, right? So healthcare system factors, most countries lack effective health insurance system for elderly, coupled with accessibility concern and inadequacies in the government healthcare system, and physical correlate determine the physical correlate determine the medical problem, and thus cause a significant impact on the quality of life of the elderly, right? So there are a number of determinants that that impact on the health of the elderly person. Now, you will see Madrid International Plan of Action. You remember in Unit 1, we had a number of principal international plan in favor that has been developed, like after conferences in Madrid on how to enhance the well-being of the people. You remember? Do you remember? We have the Second World Assembly on Aging, like in Madrid. We have the UN International United Principle for Older Person. Yeah, right? So United Nations, they had 18 principles which were clustered in five clusters, like independence, participation, care, self-fulfillment, and dignity. You remember these are the thing that has been that was that 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 was resolved, like the people agreed on this principle. Okay, so like for example, in the first World Assembly on Aging in Vienna, okay, in Vienna, they decided that health and nutrition, protection of elderly consumers, housing and environment, family and social welfare were very important, right? Were very important to enhance the quality of life of the elderly people, right? So health is one of the key priorities of the Madrid International Plan of action, right? Plan of action on aging. And aging research showed that the overwhelming burden of disease in older person in from non-communicable diseases. Heart disease, stroke, chronic lung disease are the biggest killer. And in Mauritius nowadays, we have also diabetes, we have hypertension, and we have issues of cholesterol. So visual and hearing impairment, dementia, and osteoarthritis are the main causes of disability. When people age, they may experience several health problems at the same time. WHO 2012, like it said that, they argue it is not just the physical, as in the first definition we said, it is not just physical and environmental condition in which people live which affect their health, but also the psychosocial factors such as social network. Like Venus said that when people are left alone, they become isolated, and this impact on the health of the people. So social status and individual lifestyle work alongside economic and environmental factors in determining health. All these factors interact with each other. So one is linked to the other. So there is both an inverse and converse relationship between the determinants of health. So you see, health is not only about physical and environmental condition. The main factor is about social network, social status, and the way you are involved, how active you are, if you have an active aging, or you very active in your day-to-day life, right? All these has an impact on your health. Any question, guys? Any question? No?
Madam, we did this chapter last time, I think.
Yeah, but I'm going through it again because I did only a bit. No? I did only a few slides and I stopped halfway. You remember?
Yeah.
Or we did it all. Did we we went through this social and medical model? I don't think. Can someone confirm?
Yes, madame. On était arrivé jusqu'à elderly mental illness.
Elderly and mental illness. Okay, so let me continue.
Aussi, dementia, causes of dementia, prevention, advocacy. Moi, dans mes notes, j'ai ça. Je sais pas pour les autres.
Okay, I think on sexual abuse, we stop on sexual abuse. Remember? Because I said it's a very important. I think we stopped here. Elderly abuse. You remember? Can someone confirm?
Yes, elderly abuse.
Yeah, I remember. So let me go through the others briefly, because I want you to know that abuse is also. So let me go through this. Yeah. Okay. So here. Wait. So elderly and disability. So disability generally defined as a limitation in the capacity to perform and given function is traditionally considered in the framework of a process of disablement in which specific physiologic function of the body and pathophysiologic like disease and injury processes advance over time, resulting ultimately in a disability. So disability also, as we said, as who defined, is a health problem. So Article 16 of the United Nations Principle for Older Persons state that older persons have the right to be treated fairly regardless of age, gender, racial or ethnic background, disability or other status, and to be valued independently of their economic contribution. Right. So this is very important, guys, elderly abuse and neglect, because it is not only in Mauritius, it has become a global issue. Lots of elderly people are being abused around the world. And so abuse and neglect of elderly exists in both the private domains of the family and the public institution. Give public institutions for the care of the elderly. Give me example of elderly abuse in private domains of the family. Qui est capable de donner l'exemple? Qui est capable d'arriver? Qui genre d'abuse?
Madame, prends de pension c'est à vie.
Oui, encore?
Physical abuse?
Pas de nous manger à l'heure.
Bon, ça bon? Others?
Ferme dans la case, pas les autres sorties.
Okay. Someone wanted to add?
Emotional abuse?
They are dumped when illness. They are dumped somewhere else.
They are?
Dumped.
Dumped somewhere else, yeah. And Vinesh, you wanted to add? Physical abuse, yes. Others? And what about public institution? Those who work at the Social Security Office, public institution for the care of the elderly. Do you have any complaint from relatives about their elderly living in home care? Yes, Adinarain? Yes, Adinarain? You want to talk? You raise your hand?
Yeah. Yes, David.
Yeah.
You have neglect of old people. You have psychological abuse, abuse, and you have neglect.
How psychological abuse? Can you give me an example?
There are old people that are left alone at home, and there are cases when they are tied on the bed because they can't move. These are cases that we see.
Yeah, this is in the family setting. Yeah.
Family
yeah. Continue, Adinarain. Okay, I think he's having problem. Okay, Devina, can you tell me what happened in public institution in terms of elderly abuse? Qu'est-ce que tu fais ban vieille moun psychological? The man home. Devina? Yes, Adinarain. If you want to continue, please continue.
Yeah, but there are cases when parents don't come to visit their family, the old people. They are left alone. They are in a very bad position. They are, how to say, they're miserable and they're sad. They don't get visit from parents. They're left alone. That's how I have seen. And maybe there are cases where the carers not take care of these people. They are mistreated. It's not all home, because we go and check. The officers from the ministry that go and check.
Okay, thank you. So you see there are different hold on, someone is asking. Yes, Vinesh? Yeah. Yes, true. Because the way you talk to a person, the way you behave, you talk someone, you say foul work to the old person, or you don't like engage them in when you're talking at home, or you're talking with friends, you don't want to engage them. This can affect these people psychologically. Yes, Adinaren? Okay, so I continue. The United. Someone want to talk, but I think having problem. Okay, the United Nations Principle for Older Persons stipulate that older persons have the right to live in dignity and security and to be free of exploitation and physical or mental abuse. Like someone said, exploitation is also about economic exploitation. People take their relatives, like family members, take the pension money of the elderly people, or they there are many couple who go to work and the elderly person are left alone, and they are told to like clean the house, do the chores, or do the things that these elderly do not like to do, right? So who definition of elderly people, but it also depends. Some elderly people like to do house chores. They like to be engaged in the day-to-day, right? So who definition of elderly abuse? It is generally agreed that abuse of older people is either an act of commission, right? Commission, you commit it, or of omission, in which case it is usually described as neglect. Someone, you see, there are two kinds of abuse. You will see neglect is also you neglect a person, right? You don't give food, you don't treat him properly, you neglect the person, right? You don't clean. If an elderly person is sick, bedridden, you don't clean the bed sheet, you don't give him food. This is neglect. But there is also self-neglect, right? Self-neglect is all about the people, the person, the individual himself, like the person himself is not able to take care. Like, tu me dis, you m'ont pas envie sans molins, m'ont pas envie baigner. So self-neglect. So this is also a kind of abuse, okay? It's a mistreatment, right? So, and that it may be either intentional or unintentional, right? Intentional, you're not giving the person, and intentional, it may be the person doesn't know that we have to clean this, or give such and such thing for that person to be happy, right? So the abuse may be of a physical nature, and it may be psychological. Like we said, like Vinesh said, it's all about emotional and verbal aggression. Or it may involve financial or other material maltreatment, right? So regardless of the type of abuse, it will certainly result in unnecessary suffering, injury or pain, the loss of violation of human rights, and a decreased quality of life for the older person. So this is the definition of elderly abuse. By who? Elderly abuse, guys, is an important public health problem, right? That's why we have Elderly Watch, we have the Domestic Violence Act which protect the elderly. We have so many things that is being done at international and at national level to protect the elderly person. So Robinson et al. Argues that elderly abuse includes, right, physical, emotional, or sexual harm inflicted upon an older adult. Physical, emotional, or sexual harm, right? And also the financial exploitation, as we said earlier, financial exploitation or neglect of their welfare by people who are directly responsible for their care. For example, if elderly, like Adina Ryan said, people who are in elderly care home, okay, there are many carers. Like I had, I think, 3 students who are doing the dissertation on residential care home, the welfare of people in residential care home, and we have seen so many types of abuse and neglect what exists in homes. Like there are like neglect, right? Okay, like Vinay said about psychological, like, and if someone they want to eat something and they are given other things to eat, so all the things, or if they want things to eat, if their family, or I know someone, one of my auntie who had my uncle in a home. Every time my auntie was going there, he was telling that I want to eat this. They don't want to give me this. The chocolate you bring for me. Other mates, like in the, or the peers in, how do you say, other people in the home have taken it, and we don't know if it's real or not real. But sometimes these people, the elderly people, also they don't know what they are saying. Maybe they have eaten and they say that other people have eaten. But there are many cases of abuse in public institution, like a residential care home, right? Because this is not what I'm saying. This is what many students of social security officers who has done their dissertation, and they have come forward with all this. Yes, Devika?
Yes, madam. For public institution, yes, there are some abuses que des fois il y a une abandon dire qui fait comme si dirait je peux manger, c'est capable une cuisson, il fait comment dire une gâteau piment. Aujourd'hui je gagne masala, demain je gagne rougaille. Alors je pas gagner et je pas variété, je pas voice out. À ce là je peux beaucoup care. Alors je pas gagner du monde pour causer. Ou bien mettre dans un coin, pas bien, je pas aider. Il y en a beaucoup qui viennent, ben parents même viennent dire, je mets dans, je parents dehors, parce qu'ils ne sont pas capables de jouer à la maison. Je suis bien quand je tiens, mais dans quel temps je décédé, parce qu'ils ne sont pas capables, je pas happy là-bas. Alors, il y en a ça va abuse, et je pas il y a trop beaucoup de monde dans
home. Yes, Devika? I can't hear you, Devika. Let's continue, Devika.
Si ça reste dans un petit bout, dans une petite place.
Yeah. Oui, c'est ça findings qui nous gagnent beaucoup quand les enfants font une dissertation, quand nous trouvons que beaucoup de personnes, surtout quand t'aimes private, ou bien quand même public residential care, quand paid one, ou bien c'est qui gouvernement, il y a beaucoup d'abus qui il y a beaucoup d'abus qui est là, mais nous avons une regulation, non? Nous avons une residential care act, non? Nous avons mais est-ce qu'on doit poursuivre ça là? I'm asking you. Est-ce qu'il y a beaucoup de cases qui, comme un jumun, in been report and then you have taken them to court? Is there any example, Devika, about this?
Yeah. In one cas, hello?
Apia can reply. Apia.
Yes,
in un cas résidentiel, que de poursuivre un propriétaire home là, Je peux poursuivre le
Oui.
ministère, parce que nous ne pouvons pas réagir avec eux. Maintenant
Ah,
qui
d'accord.
officiel, nous pas rapport. La cause tout le temps, tous les mois, nous fait rapport, nous mettons, ouais, je peux acte d'après compte ce qui est l'ancien acte 2015, le registre qui est au acte 2015, mais je peux dans autre.
Hello? Okay, I think there's a problem in the network or yeah. So these are the good example. If you have an exam question, so you can add all these example about the types of neglect and the types of neglect, the types of abuse and example, right? So as older people, as older adults become more physically frail, they are less able to take care of themselves, stand up to bullying, or fight back if attacked. So that's why they have lots of abuse. As long as older people are devalued and marginalized by society, they will suffer from loss of self-identity and remain highly susceptible to discrimination and all forms of abuse. You see, so why they are abused? You see, because they cannot stand for themselves, right? They cannot take care of themselves, and they cannot fight back if attacked, right? And now you see who indicate the following key facts on elderly abuse, right? So this is a study carried out in 2018. So around 1 in 6 people 60 years and older experience some form of abuse in community setting during the past years. So 2018. Rates of elderly abuse are high in institutions such as nursing homes and long-term care facilities, with 2 in 3 staff reporting that they have committed abuse in the past years. Elderly abuse can lead to serious physical injuries and long-term psychological consequences, right? So elderly abuse is predicted to increase as many countries are experiencing rapidly aging population, right? So you see, it's at the start I said elderly abuse is increasing around the world, right? And it is becoming a big issue, and the global population, like at international level, they are trying to find ways and means, strategies, action plan, how to solve this problem, right? So you will see, like in Mauritius and in other countries, people are trying to have a convention on the rights of older person, because we don't have a convention on older person. So these are the signs of mistreatment, like you all said, some of you said about like intimidation or yelling. So neglect, as I said, there are 2 forms of neglect. There is neglect, so lack of clean clothing or clothing inappropriate for the weather, lack of basic hygiene. So the home is cluttered, dirty, in need of repairs, or the home has fire and other safety hazards. The home that have needed utilities such as electricity, working, plumbing, heating, cooling, and also, for example, it is not it is not an elderly friendly environment. So these are, because if you know your elderly cannot go upstairs and you have only toilet upstairs, like in European country, you will see there is no toilet downstairs. So you have to make provision to have a toilet downstairs, or like in European countries, you will see they have like, it's not a lift, you have like a basket, and it goes, you sit in this chair or a basket, and then it goes all through up, like it goes up to the room of that elderly person, right? So these are the things that when you have elderly person at your home, you have to give them the necessary facilities. For example, if you know that the person cannot climb on beds which are higher, you have to buy him or her a bed which is low, where the person can go easily. right? So you have to give the basic necessities to this hobby. We have physical abuse, such as bruises, especially on the head or torso, and those shaped like a hand, finger, or thumb. So you will see all these things that has been put in this book, like the content. These are things that has been like research, and these are the things that came out through all the research. So people have taken cognizance of all these types of physical abuse. These are the signs. Okay, the types of abuse. Remember, the types of abuse are neglect, physical, sexual, financial, emotional, and self-neglect, right? But the signs of abuse and mistreatment are like bruises, okay, uh, like lack of clean, or like intimidation. These are the signs, what we see. But the types of neglect, physical, right? Remember these two things. So, unexplained burns, cut, sore, or other injuries, denying an older person enough food, water, needed medication, or assistive device such as canes, walkers, hearing aids, and glasses, giving older adults unnecessary tranquilizers or sleeping pills, or confining or tying in older person to a bed or a wheelchair, as Adina said. People like relatives, or son and daughter tie the parents like older person. Sexual abuse, so unexplained anal or vaginal bleeding, torn or bloodied underwear, bruises around the breast or genitals. So you see all these signs. In terms of financial abuse and exploitation, unusual patterns of spending or withdrawal from an older adult's account, frequent purchases of inappropriate items, bills going unpaid, or utilities being turned off, right? The presence of a new best friend who is accepting generous gift from the older adult. This is also a type of exploitation, right? And then we have emotional and psychological abuse. So it's about intimidation or yelling, making threats, humiliating or ridiculing someone, right? Isolating an older adult from friends and keeping them from activities they enjoy for no reason, right? If someone want to go like to residential home, no, not care home, recreational center. Sometimes there are families family member who deny this to when asked the elderly person, when they ask that my friends are going to recreational center for tonight, if I can go, they are deny this facility. They are not allowed to go. And then in terms of self-neglect, as I said, it's about physical or mental impairment or diminished capacity can mean that an older adult is no longer able to perform essential self-care. Okay, as we say, it is by omission or by commission. So they cannot do it. So it's a self-neglect, lack basic personal hygiene, appear dehydrated, malnourished, or underweight, live in increasingly unsanitary or dirty condition, and be unable to pay bills or properly manage the medication. So these are the signs, guys. And anyone want to add anything about a sign that we doesn't know? We doesn't appear here? Anyone? Devina, anything to add? Or everything is there? Devina, do you have anything to add, or is okay? Is it okay, guys? Raise your hand if it's okay. I will continue. Okay, now we have to intervene when there is elderly abuse And also, this is the role of social workers. Some of the social workers or the public officers who act as, like, we can say they are also social workers. So we have to intervene to reduce the risk of elderly abuse. So according to Health in Aging Foundation, relevant authorities can reduce the risk of elderly abuse by putting systems in place that can prevent abuse from the start. For example, provision for community support and services for caregivers and older people. Organize empowerment and capacity building program to empower older person, because if older person know about their right, they can fight for the rights for those who are able to fight for the rights. So you have to empower these people. For example, we had a case, people were trying, like one son was trying to putting the person, like he was not letting the dad to come in the house. Okay, and I think he has given the house and the land to that son, but that person, the elderly person, didn't know that he could have said that, okay, I will in the contract, and he was not advised to, he was not aware about that. He could have done this, that when giving the land and the house to his son, he could have written something like he can live in this house in up to his death, right? So something like that. So you have to organize, empower, capacitate these people, make them know about their right. So organize sensitization campaign to update the elders about their rights and create awareness among professions working with the elderly and the society at large. Include the older people in advocacy group at all levels to campaign for change, because they are the ones who know about what they need, what are the challenges, right? So welfare policies and programs should be developed to enhance the quality of life of elderly. We have lots of welfare policies in Mauritius and program. National government should establish an adequate pension scheme, and in Mauritius we see people are receiving a nice pension. Help their families to learn about stress and its management. Some people are not aware how to take care of elderly person. Help families to learn about provision of counseling services, support to risk families, and help them in facilitating care. So this is the role of social worker. So you have to counsel sometime when they're bedridden elderly person. So you have to counsel the elderly because they are mentally stressed, these people taking care of the elderly, bedridden elderly person, right? So the quality of life and the welfare of older person can be harmed by elderly abuse and neglect. Therefore, it is crucial that older persons are empowered to protect themselves against all forms of abuse and neglect. Older persons' self-esteem must be improved and sustained, and thus making them feel that they are important citizens. Okay, because these people have contributed. So there is also health status of older women. It is very important, guys, because all women are more vulnerable, right? Men and women are alike in many ways. However, there are important biological and behavioral differences between the two genders, who state that, with a few exceptions, women have longer life expectancies than men in both developed and developing countries. Worldwide, women are likely to continue to maintain this advantage over men for a foreseeable future. However, they say older women are more likely to be victims of abuse, who indicate that studies have shown that the elevated risk for depression in women is at least partly accounted for by negative attitude toward them, lack of acknowledgement for their work, fewer opportunities. 1 second, guys. Fewer opportunities in education and employment, and greater risk of domestic violence. So older women who are abused are more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and physical disabilities. Why? Kifia. Kifia, guys? À cause de? Why? Older women who are abused are more likely to suffer from this depression, anxiety, and physical abuse.
Decrease in hormone levels.
Because the dignity, no, and madam can abuse. Carry sa dignity. They become low, no? Comment une madame qui n'a abusé pour feel? How she will feel? Il pas pour feel low? Là, quand il feel low, qui a depression. Right. So the effect may also be fatal as a result of homicide, severe injury, neglect, or suicide. I'm having a cold, guys. That's why at some point I will have a cough. So the risk of mental illness is also associated with indicators of poverty, including low levels of education, and in some studies with poor housing and low income. So while women do not experience more mental illness than men, they are more prone to certain types of disorders, including depression and anxiety. So what are the policy implications? So aging is associated to a number of health issues, as we have seen. Provision of healthcare and maintenance of health become very significant as people age. If the health needs of elderly people are not addressed today, it would result into a costly problem tomorrow. The professionals and care providers need to work together to provide safety and comfort as well as support the individual in their daily lives. So professional and care providers. But sometimes we see that the care providers are themselves like perpetrators. So policymakers and other professionals working in this sector need to be well conversant and knowledgeable in the identification, assessment, and management of health issues among the elderly person. You remember we did the scope of social work in elderly person. We talk about assessment, advocacy, counseling. So these are the things that professional and policymakers should know all about. Social policies need to be developed that seek to empower individuals in maintaining their health and achieving a better quality of life. So in summary, guys, in unit 4, as we did it together with half of it in unit when we were doing unit 3. So we learn about health issues associated with older population, health issues associated with older person, and we say it is very complex. When people age, they become more vulnerable to ill health. Older persons should be given the right support. They should be empowered, right? They should be empowered, capacitated, and make them know about the things what are in favor of them, about their rights to ensure their well-being and quality of life, because they face a number of complex challenges in the later life, as we said, because they are vulnerable. Healthcare for elderly is to prevent and manage disease. Okay, the elderly need to be empowered to maintain and manage their health and also to prevent themselves from further ill health. And also, in summary, we learned all about the types of abuse, right? The signs of abuse and what can be done to prevent elderly abuse, okay? And the role of social workers and carers in the field of elderly abuse. Any question, guys, before we start Unit 5? Any question? Any question? Raise your hand if it's clear. Right. So, good. So we are going to do Unit 5, which is all about quality of. Okay, I have to undo, stop sharing, and then share files. Okay, so quality of life. I know you are well aware about quality of life now. Why? You have been doing your assignment, so you're very well aware about quality of life. So we are going to do at the end of this unit, you will understand the multidimensional concept of quality of life, the various determinants that enhance the well-being and quality of life of an elderly person, identify policies that are required to promote quality of life of elder person, understand how promotion of quality of life should be treated in a holistic manner. So first, when we are going to know about what is quality of life, we have to know the concept, right? Understand the concept of quality of life. So what is quality of life? So there are many definitions, there are many concepts which has been developed. So Laquette said that the core concept of quality of life is to understand a human being and its needs, right? From a different perspective, keeping in mind that a human being is in constant interaction with the surroundings according to the holistic interaction approach. So holistic interaction approach is all about, you remember the environment fit, the system theory. It's about its environment. Quality of life is all about the satisfaction of one's needs, okay? Quality of life is all about the satisfaction of one's needs and preferences, which naturally change with the development of a human personality, right? Parce qu'ils ont dit, moi, je peux pas manger comme on vient de vivre, moi, je peux envie de manger. Bien aujourd'hui, moi, tu peux manger la viande poisson, comme on peut venir et normalement, vient du monde, arrête de manger. Right? So Kaje and Bisak argue that quality of life is poor economic, cultural, educational, and healthcare condition, and also inadequate social interaction can result in poor quality of life in elderly people. That is the impact of poor economic, cultural, economic, and healthcare condition and inadequate social interaction can have a negative result on the quality of life of elderly person. We also have chronic diseases such as diabetes, coronary heart diseases, osteoporosis, and cerebrovascular most common diseases in elderly people, right? These disturbances that cause medical, social, and psychological problems can decrease physical function and the quality of life of elderly in the community, right? So the two definition, right, qui est la première décision là? The première définition là. What it says? Ok, Devina, noted. Dis-moi, qui ne comprend la première définition? Allez visite. Ça veut dire nous trouver qui, il peut dire qui une quality of life or du monde, li about sa needs of the person, sa préférence, qui est content. OK? Qui sa personne là content? Si vous donnez li pour happy. Quand il est happy, qui peut arriver? Il pour vivre bien. Et deuxième là, qui dit une quality of life and du monde, il dépend aussi de son côté culturel, économique, educational, healthcare condition and social interaction. Mais si on a pour tout ça dans affaires là, il pour pour quality of life. Simple. Premier là c'est man social interaction, so needs qui man du monde pour constant interaction with the surrounding, qui m'a envie de manger tout ça là, et déjà là c'est about il peut cause tout ça. Ça concept et là différentes façons qu'ils ont développé. Right? Nous avons encore theories argue that even when older persons experience declines in physical and mental function, the quality of life can be improved if they are provided with the necessary support, which result in alleviating the negative impact of these declines. Par exemple, si un jimoun pas péka morsi, il pas péka morsi, qui nous a donné pour les gagner bon la vie? Allez, c'est bien simple ça. Allez-y. Diksha. Qu'est-ce que nous allons faire? De place nous pour quitter en place misérable. Walking frame. Very good. Nous besoin donner un wheelchair ou bien un walking frame. Non? Sinon, qui peut arriver? Du monde là, il pour isolated, il pour left alone. Comme ça, s'il est dans son wheelchair, il est capable de move. So some of the domains of quality of life are physical comfort, functional competence, privacy, dignity, meaningful activity, relationship. There's a sound. Meaningful activity. Relationship, autonomy. Yes, Adinaran, you raise your hand. Okay, nothing happening. Okay, so functional competence, privacy, dignity, meaningful activity, relationship, autonomy, food enjoyment, spiritual well-being, security, and individuality. So these are the factors, okay, of quality of life. With the increasing life expectancy, it is becoming more and more important to consider the factors that can positively influence aging and quality of life in old age. There is need to implement strategies that promote respect and dignity of elderly people. Right. So, il peut venir bien important, right? Et nous finissons trouver un facteur, nous finissons trouver un déterminant qui impacte la qualité de la vie d'un elderly person, comme on gère physical comfort, functional competencies, privacy, dignity, and others. So the accomplishment of quality of life of older person is determined by, okay, social status and inclusion in the society, right? Key quantity to pay include in the society, whether they are inclusive, whether they pay facilité pour place, pour ça là. The resources made available to them to meet the need. Est-ce que tout ça là les impacter la qualité of life? The opportunities made available to them for positive and enriching life experiences. Elderly people need special care services to maintain high level of quality of life and health status. While measuring quality of life of elderly people, it is crucial to take into account indicators and measures such as living arrangement, healthcare, social security, and social protection, income security, right to family and the children, and autonomy as well as safety. So you see factors that impact physical comfort, functional competency, privacy, dignity, right? Tout ça là pour impacter et comment nous dire si l'eau économique pour economic, cultural, educational, healthcare condition. Et ici, il peut dire une solution. Il peut dire comment nous capables enhance quality of life of these people. Là, c'est by living arrangement, make the environment friendly, healthcare, provides to health services, social security and social protection, donne the pension, donne the to there is a list of things that Minister of Social Security provide in favor of an elderly person: income security, right to the family, autonomy, and wheelchair, safety, and camera dans la case, other man safety net qui nous gère, qui provide ça an elderly là pour enhance the quality of life. So quality of life, nous trouve factors in ça. So according to the World Health Organization, quality of life is defined as an individual perception of the position in life in the context of the culture and value system in which they live, right? And in relation to the goal, expectation, standards, and concern. It is a broad-ranging concept incorporating in a complex way a personal belief and relationship to salient features in the environment. OK, moi envie ça, moi gagner ça, moi happy. Moi envie ça, moi pas gagner ça, moi unhappy. So these are the things that they say that it is the perception of the position in life in the value system in which the person live, right? Qui so goal, qui so expectation, qui so standard, and qui so concern, and whether these people is satisfied or not. Lawton offered a comprehensive, accurate, and surprising contemporary, but somewhat too general definition of quality of life. He called it good life, right? He said that quality of life is about good life and stated that it was composed of behavior competence, psychological well-being, perceived quality of life, and objective of environment, right? Good life is quality of life. Police say, very, very simple. And then Cushing was more specific than Lawton. He stated that quality of life is a loosely related body of work on psychological well-being, social and emotional functioning, health status, functional performance, life satisfaction, social support, and standard of living, whereby normative, objective, and subjective indicators of physical, social, and emotional function are all used. To trouver tout ça une définition là. Quand they have been defined, they have from different perspectives. So vous trouvez énormément de mots qui common, like psychological well-being, emotional, health status, functional performance, ça même dit ça, physical ability or physical disability, life satisfaction, right? Social support, l'autre côté, la social network, tout ça, standard of living, le tout ça une définition là, les mean more or less the same, right? The number of words, but quality of life is all about comment Lawton say is about good life. So Heide et al. Use Maslow's theory of needs to inform the measurement of quality of life. They argue that although people need to have provision of basic life, food, shelter, safety, they will pursue other needs when these other basic needs are met, right? So quality of life, I think one of you has defined, like in the assignment, the way, I forgot the name, I have written it in my copybook, the way she or he has written her assignment was lovely, and it was like in a good flow, taken the example of Maslow's theory of needs and has gone step by step telling how from the basic need to self-actualization, what is needed, how the quality of life of the person could be enhanced when, for example, given food. And I think he or she has taken the example, if food has not been given, what would have happened? And if food has been given to that person, what will what will have, if provision has been made for food. So it was lovely. It was good to read, right? So it was a good assignment. So you see, quality of life, if you take step by step, you can define it taking Maslow theory of needs. So the other needs include social interaction, achievement, and emotional stability, among others. Heidi developed a quality of life measurement that was based on 4 domains: control, which is the ability to exert some extent control over one's own environment. Okay, autonomy, which is the ability to reject unwanted interference in one's own life. Self-realization and pleasure, which are the active and reflective components of being human. They believe that this factor would focus attention on the positive aspect of quality of life, while also conforming to a need satisfaction model of quality of life. The measures was called CASP, which is all about control, autonomy, self-realization, and pleasure. So these are the concept of quality of life, and there are more, like 2 more, but I'm not going through these 2. But you will see that, let me go through Maslow theory of needs. So, there's psychophysiological, safety and security, love, belonging, esteem, self-actualization, right? And you will see here is well written. So physiological needs. So all people, no matter the age, start with the most basic requirements: food, drink, shelter, sleep, and treatment of illness and injury are fundamental to survival. So when providing, you see, when providing care for the elderly, this is the area that most caregivers focus on. Providing these basics, especially with a focus on health for the frail and disabled, take the bulk of caregiver time and energy. Although essential, meeting physiological needs is more about survival and does not necessarily ensure quality of life for the age, right? So you see how you can make negative and positive. So security need. One's physical survival is safeguarding the next rung up the ladder is security. This is an issue that many adult children of aging parents worry about, and often the source of conflict between the generation. The elderly, especially those who feel vulnerable due to injury or illness, desire a sense of security. Yet, they will often react with anger as being treated like a toddler, you see, especially from their offspring. Sensitivity is needed when discussing security concerns such as driving, maintaining the house, or even being alone at home. When intervention is taken for safety's sake, the aging can strongly react to the loss of their independence. Parfois, ou dire, ou, si c'est pas fait comme ça, je dis non, qui fait nous pas pour faire. Okay, so react. So it is wise to replace that loss through transportation services and in-home care. Now, social need. Being connected socially is very important to all people. But for the elderly, it became a key quality of life concern. That's why we have so many recreational centers. We have the Senior Citizen Council, because it connects people. They do networking, right? When we have puja, we have a gathering, people go to the church, you will see lots of older person going there. These are the things that make them happy. So due to the health issues or lack of ability to get out, the aging often find their social opportunity shrinking, and they spend more of the time alone. The elderly need opportunities to become involved socially with family, friends, and community, attending functions at the local senior citizen, volunteering, or connecting through social media can help the elderly feel like a contributing member of society. Now, the fourth one is self-esteem. Self-esteem is very important, guy. The elderly, like all people, want to feel recognized and appreciated for the ideas, abilities, and talent. That's why sometimes when you deny people denied older person in a decision making level, they are frustrated. The aging often lose the sense of worth when illness, disability, or frailty limit them. The loss of self-worth is devastating to an elder's well-being and can be linked to depression and increased mortality. Caregivers, therefore, need to add to their loved ones' quality of life by working together on projects that boost self-esteem, right? You have to boost the self-esteem. Enjoying hobbies or pursuing projects such as writing memoirs or constructing a legacy album or recording family stories can elevate self-esteem. So you will see like Senior Citizen Association, they have essay competition, they have quiz, they have like singing competition. These are the things because these people want to increase the dignity, increase the self-esteem of the older person. Now, self-actualization. According to Maslow, the highest rank of the hierarchy is the need for self-actualization. This status is reached by relatively few people, and those who do share some common traits, they tend to concentrate on the reality of life rather than wishful thinking. They are problem solvers and not complainers. They also have a viewpoint that the life's journey is just as important as the final destination. With all the experience of life and maturity, the elderly should be prime candidates to reach self-actualization. Yet, the process of aging often strips our elders of the higher level of self-actualization, self-esteem, and social connection, leaving today's aging just hanging on to the lower level of survival. So this is quality of life when you by Maslow hierarchy of needs, and Kate McCarthy has gone through it and has developed all these how the quality, how Maslow hierarchy of need impact. You can there's a positive and negative factor that has been explained here, and how you can have strategies, program, and ways to enhance the quality of life of elderly person. All right. Now there are, like we said, dignity and quality of life. How we are going to do step by step. So elderly person have been perceived as a burden to the society because it might be that some of them have not planned for their retirement. Parfois, quand on pas plan pour retirement, ou become un burden to the family, and qui arrive quand un burden to the family, ou tu peux envie de faire ça, allez, ok, si je pas un retirement plan, je pas de l'argent, mais comment je peux voyager? Comme on est vieux, on a 60 ans, bon, la santé correcte, tout mon camarade peut voyager, parce que je suis dans l'argent, je peux voyager, moi, je pas de l'argent, je peux voyager. Qui arrive? Moi, self-esteem, my dignity become low. Moi, dire, moi feel sad, moi be capable. So some of them may be unhealthy, incapacitated, have a poor quality of life, hence dependent on the society, which will have the burden to support them. Elderly people have contributed in the development of the country during their earlier working years. They have contributed in terms of taxes and towards social security to stimulate the economy. So, INEC policy brief stipulate that experience with active aging so that the older person who are integrated into society, ce qui est capable encore vivre sur la vie, il est capable à faire social networking, d'être capable encore faire ce travail, have a higher quality of life and longer and healthier lives. Societies needs to consider more actively how to integrate older person and ensure the participation in a cohesive society of all ages. At the same time, attention on older person should not come at the expense of younger generation. So regardless of age, guys, each person should be able to contribute to society. To achieve this goal, concrete action can be taken in three broader areas. Bisa na functional participation, right? Bisa faire infrastructure and intergenerational relationship as shown in diagram qui est là-dedans. Vous trouvez ça commitment là? Ça veut dire la functional integration qui veut dire social participation, political participation and economic participation, right? Vous êtes besoin participe dans tout. Comment nous dire, et un pique-nique qui sont allés, et un dans recreational center, political participation, comment nous dire, politique sont bien, dans policy making, ça peut aider, ça peut causer. Economic participation, ça veut dire, je peux encore travailler, je peux encore contribuer. Ça, c'est functional integration. Maintenant, côté infrastructure, ça veut dire housing, transport, culture. Et international generation, ça veut dire, il y a un media coverage, il y a un campaign, il y a un volunteering, tout ça, ces affaires-là. Et aussi, nous faisons faire une activité côté de jeunes et vieux ensemble. Right? And then, now, let's see, la dignity. Pour tout le monde là, il y a un high level of dignity. Nous disons que nous besoin functional integration, nous besoin tout ça, ces affaires-là, d'après sa recherche là, nous besoin donner good infrastructure, nous besoin donner une habilité, possibilité pour functional integration and nous besoin une intergenerational relationship. This is for dignity. Now, living arrangement. Comme nous disons depuis le commencement, nous besoin provide the necessary facilities and conducive environment to make the people live healthily and happily, move autonomously. So while some elderly persons may feel more comfortable with the level of assistance provided to them by assisted living residents or assisted living facilities, the majority of the elderly person prefers to continue living in the home for as long as possible. Just aging in place. So elderly person prefer aging in place, which means that they make a decision to stay in a place of their choice with the necessary comfort that are important to them. The inhabitation may include adding supplementary services to facilitate the living condition to enhance the quality of life. Household devices is one of the factors that may have a positive impact on daily lives by reducing the burden of several tasks and enriching social interaction, right? So, nous besoin make la vie, comment dire ça? Make la vie facile, right? Pour ban assistive devices comme alarms, sensors, detectors, and lifestyle monitoring devices, right? Tout ça can help in compensating for the activity limitation caused by the impairment. Vous avez un impairment, comment nous dire, vous êtes capable d'avoir une physical disability, c'est une personne là, disons, une physical. Nous devons provide cette facilité là pour les autres vivre autonomousement. So ARP International report on aging, readiness and competitiveness in Germany indicates that aging in place is facilitated by high level of technology adoption by Germany older adults. Sorry, guys. So, however, there remains a digital divide between older adults and the rest of the German population. In order to address this, in 2013, the government began to establish programs especially geared towards helping older adults gain the necessary skills to use technology. In addition to training program, it is leveraging technology to create smart household and community-based solutions to support aging in place. I had the opportunity to go to Germany and also to other European country where I have visited many household, like where people are aging in place, and I have seen a number of facilities that are provided to elderly person, and also the some of the elderly person are provided with the necessary training to use these technology that are par exemple, comment pour use un téléphone, comment pour use une caméra, comment pour ring bell quand vous êtes dans détresse, vous are provided ça ban training là. Moi, pensez une association qui peut provide ça genre de training là dans Maurice. Il reste des noms, une fondation ça, Global Foundation. So, posso ramène sur l'organisation. Ils provide an university de troisième âge. So, according to a survey carried by ARP, 85% of the respondents over 65 wanted to remain in their homes for as long as possible, and 92% said they wanted to remain in the communities. Ça veut dire que 88% ils want to age in place. Et 92% tu veux dire nous envie reste dans la case, dans la communauté. Another survey confirmed that 90% of the adults over 65 want to remain in the current home as they grow older. Most seniors indicate that they would prefer to age in place as they're staying in the current home or choosing from a range of affordable, age-appropriate options with the community. So if si nous pas si nous n'a pas envie à rester dans un home, nous devons faciliter nous social worker ou bien le gouvernement, nous devons faciliter ça nous devons provide with une facilité pour make a conducive environment, pour make an appropriate environment pour ça vivre bien. Maintenant, quality of life, comme on dit, dignity est important, environment est important, infrastructure est important, comme on dit, mais aussi autonomie and independence is very important parce que parfois, on trouve dans un slide, parfois quand on dit, non, laissez-nous faire ça pour nous, ils sont tout fait, ils sont non qui fait moins bon qu'à faire, so parce qu'ils ont envie de faire. So maintaining a sense of independence is crucial as it enables elderly person to enhance the quality of life. Aging in place allows elderly person to maintain a high level of control over their lives and they are familiar with the living environment. Okay, elderly person who are used to satisfying the basic needs such as purchasing food, toiletries, and clothing in their own neighborhoods often feel satisfied. And they manage to manage these necessities independently. They gain self-confidence when they feel they can live their life without frequent assistance, which may improve quality of life. All throughout the prior life, older person have acquired with lots of efforts, objects and assets with financial and sentimental value and find a high level of value in remaining close to their possessions. Thus, spending the later stage with this environment often gives some older person the opportunity to live in autonomy and the ability to continue enjoying what they possess and value, which may improve independence and happiness. Comme on peut dire, ce monde content faire ce travail et si vous provider avec un environnement que tu es capable de vivre tout seul, ça, on est pour impacter dans sa qualité de la vie. Then we have, so maintaining community connection. We talk about how they want to maintain community connection. Like 95% of the people say that they want to live in the community. So those older person who continue to live, I think there is a missing word, who continue to live in their own house, allow them to pursue the lives as they have lived for decades. Research carried out by AOP has proved that the majority of older persons have a strong desire to maintain networking with the communities and their friends, and that if they are relocated, they may lose contact with them. This enables them to continue with social interaction in their daily lives. It is also argued that having an active social life may help older persons prevent dementia, maintaining community connection, and important friendship. They can contribute to better health and quality of life. All right. So Gabriel and Bowling study determined that determinants that enhance the quality of life of older adults is having good social uh, relationship, help and support, living in a home and neighborhood that is perceived to give pleasure, feel safe, is neighborly and has access to local facilities and services, including transport, engaging in hobby and leisure activities, as well as maintaining social activities and retaining a role in society, having a positive psychological outlook and acceptance of circumstances which cannot be changed, having good health and mobility, and having enough money to meet basic needs, to participate in society, to enjoy life, and to retain one independence and control over life. So you see, these are the determinants that enhance the quality of life of older adults. So I will stop here, guys. But one of you, can you remind me next time that we stop here? I'm putting it in my notebook, but still, I will stop here, and I stop here. But we will discuss a bit about. I will ask you if you stay connected. We are not we are still in class. We are going to discuss about your assignment, and also if you have any question on this unit. Just wait. Right. Okay, guys. Any question here? Any question? Allez, vous autres. Question? No? No. Okay, just wait then. If you don't have any question, give me 1 minute. I'm just connecting my device here. Let me go. Sorry. Donne-moi une minute, je peux retrieve un document là, vous êtes? Windows. Gmail. Site item. Wieder. Exam. Oh my God, September. Okay. Are you with me, guys? Are you with me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So, remind me, guys, next session, I will present about the legislation, policies, and program. Write it, guys. you have to focus on this. So it will be, please, no one is recording. Is someone recording? Don't record. I don't want anyone to record. So focus on legislation, policy, and program that promote that's promoted in Mauritius, and also about challenges that people face in accessing to these facilities, right? For example, we have the Residential Care Act, we have the Elderly Protection Act, we have so many things. I will go through the document. Second, you have to know about the perspective, at least 3 perspectives, okay? And also impact of an aging population on the socio-economic development of the country, right? This is une question là paraît difficile, mais elle est facile. Nous avons discuté là. Et comment dire, si vous faites bien, Maslow hierarchy of need, comment il peut enhance quality of life. Vous avez comme ça bien. Social theories, vous bien connaissez, at least 2. Et sign of elderly. Et comment, qui nous besoin faire pour, qui ban autorité besoin faire pour, correct. Qui nous besoin faire pour diminuer ban elderly abuse. Nous faisons faire, comment dire, elderly abuse, un chapitre important. Alors, important, c'est social theories, sign of abuse, avec qui prévention peut faire, comment nous peut faire. Là, nous avons Maslow hierarchy of need and quality of life, okay? Perspectives, at least 3 or 4 perspectives. Après, il y a un impact of aging population on socio-economic development, correct? Ça. And also, disons qu'on peut cause l'impact of socio-economic l'impact, c'est quand tu causes le dependency ratio, increase in government spending, in good ça. Shortage of workers, those working pay higher taxes, qui va l'impact pour et ça va nous là de bien discuter. Il y a ces conséquents points là, so, ça. Et puis, première question là, disons, je veux qu'on va faire comme Protection of Elderly Act, Equal Opportunity Act, Senior Citizen Council, Residential Care Home, et comment me dire qui est supportive, the challenges. Ouais. Par exemple, quand, disons, on demandait, une question the government of Mauritius has been supported, critically discussed, disons, one challenges faced by program services and entitlement. Vous avez bien connu qu'il y a basic retirement pension, residential care home. Vous avez bien cause tout ça, une facilité qui est là et qui va difficile, difficultés de gagner. Is it okay, guys? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so concentrate on that. Il n'est pas difficile, mais comme on peut dire, nous finissons avec questionnaire, mais je ne connais pas si ce questionnaire à cause de third year, final year, les modérité par un modérateur avec un external examiner, right? Un external modérateur pour modérer. Je ne connais pas qui peut changer, qui pas pour changer. Je ne dis nous sans bonne question cette fois-ci. Ça veut dire, je, en tant que étudiant pour mon aging, hein, quand je peux faire aging, je bien connais premières affaires, qui m'a la loi, aging dans Maurice. Second, qui m'a programme, service et facilities, right, second. Troisième, qui définition, hein, comment impacter elder aging, comment il impacter le social et économique. Social. OK? Social et économique. Social, c'est facile. Et puis, nous devons aussi connaître un abuse et nous devons connaître quality of life. Et quality of life, c'est Maslow hierarchy of need. C'est plus difficile que ça, vous autres, réviser là. Maintenant, go through the papers, go through the slides, and then come back and let me know qui je peux envie reconnaître. Mais I will not go again. I think you are 8 8 participants aujourd'hui. Combien est dans sa classe là, vous êtes? Parce que assignment, je corrige beaucoup. Mon assignment est dans, attends-moi dire là. Content, assignment, gradebook. Assignment est dans 35. Assignment, je corrige, mais je trouve only with Jimon qui est présent. Moi, pas pour recause le code pour concentrer, mais juste remind-moi, moi pour faire dans nous prenons last session, moi pour faire un petit bout de révision, et que nous pour causer un petit peu le man akena, et aussi, please, un homework ça, il y a un homework et en même temps, je peux faire une petite révision, rôder qui ban akena et qui ban fa programme. Ça, it's up to you. Je t'arrête ça, après je t'amène li. Là, nous allons discuter là. Is it okay, guys? Raise your hand if it's okay. Or, on va pas faire plus que ça. Et next session, on va pas cause là. Right? Okay, so guys, I will stop here because I have another class. And any question before you go? Any question? Pena? Yes, Vinesh? Okay, so, okay. And Adinarine, écoute Adinarine. Pourquoi Adinarine, ce device pas trop bon? Mon pena Adinarine, mon sens portable, mon ça. Can someone tell Adinarine to phone me? Parce que je me trouvais une voice so assignment late. Moi, je n'ai OK, guys, si vous êtes capable, Jenny, phone moi un coup. Merci. So guys, thank you. I will stop here. Hope you enjoyed this session. And please remind me next week 2 things where we stop. And second is to talk about, what do you say, about Policies Act. And I'm giving you homework. So this time you are going to talk about the acts and the program and policy in favor. And for example, what are the challenges faced to get access to these programs and policy, right? Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.
Merci, madame. Au revoir.
Au revoir.